Can you hear me now? Looks like it. All right. Well, welcome to a remote learning day. Hope you have your books. If you don't have a book, there's a link in the stream for the Google Classroom. Yeah, let's just do this, huh? So we're going to continue lesson 3.3 with 3.3b, Binomial Expansion and Pascal's Triangle. So this is an image of Pascal's Triangle here. It's very colorful. And we'll explore what it means and how it can help us. So when we're using Pascal's triangle, we have rows. Row 0, row 1, row 2, and so on. I mean, on forever, but let's just stop at 4 for now. And it equates to the numbers, so we have 1 in row 0, and then the sum of the two numbers, in the next row, it's the sum of the two numbers diagonally above it. So there's no two numbers there, but if you look here, these two numbers will add up to be 2. And the corners, the edges, think of it as a pyramid. The edges of the triangle, the pyramid, are always ones. Okay, so I have another set of ones here. But 1 plus 2 is 3, and 2 plus 1 is also 3. And so the next row, we have ones in the edges here, and then 1 plus 3 is 4, 3 plus 3 is 6, 3 plus 1 is 4, then our 1, and so on. Well, how will this help us? Well, let's move on to the next. We'll figure it out. So each row will give us coefficients corresponding to binomial expansion. And binomial means like this is the binomial here, okay? And we expand it out because the power increases, right? So this is why we have row 0. A binomial, a plus b to the 0 power just equals 1. Anything to the 0 is 1 except 0, okay? And so then we have the next row, 1. It's the same binomial. A and b just represent any two things. It could be x plus 1, like a could be x. A could be a coefficient times x or some variable. B could be a constant, another variable. They're stand-ins for now. It's raised to the 1 power, you have 1 in front of both. Raised to the 2nd power, this is the row, third row. These are the coefficients. So if you look here, you have 1 of the a squareds. You have 2 of the product of a times b, and then you have 1 of b squareds, which is the product b times b. So if you do FOIL, this should look very familiar. And then when we have row 4, which is to the 3rd power, these are your coefficients, and you see them here, okay, and so on and so on. So what we have here is let's look at the bottom row. You have a to the 5th, that's here, okay? And so our a goes a to the 5, a to the 4, a to the 3, a to the 2, a to the 1, a to the 0, okay? And we have b to the 0, b to the 1, b to the 2, b to the 3, b to the 4, b to the 5. The exponents always add up to 5. 5 plus 0 is 5. 4 plus 1 is 5. 3 plus 2. Okay? And then you have the coefficients that we see from Pascal's triangle here. 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, or in 1, sorry. How does this help us? Instead of having to like multiply this out, right? Going x plus 3 times x plus 3 times x plus 3. Okay, it's just a shortcut. So we have a 3. This is going to be row 3, right? Which is 1, 3, 3, 1. These are our coefficients, okay? So our first term will be 1x cubed. Our next one will be a 3x squared, 3 to the 1, okay? Our next one will be another 3, right? The coefficient. So we've done 1, we've done 3, we've done the second 3. X to the 1, 3 squared times 3 squared, okay? And our last one will be 1, there's no x, it's x to the 0, times 3 cubed. Now what we're going to do is we're going to simplify all these. Last step. This is x cubed plus, this is 3 times 3, which is 9x squared. This is 3 times 9, which is 27x, and this is 3 to the third power, which is 27. And we're done. Okay, we simplified each one of these on their own. Pardon me. Our exponent now is 4, and this is our a, and this is our b. Oh, we have subtraction. Ooh. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to treat it as a plus, and then our b is, x plus, and our b is just -2, okay? So, this is row 4, which was 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So let's write it out. We have 1, x to the 4th, and -2 to the 0. Okay, so I'm just going to show it. So the exponents for our a and our b, here's our a and our b. When we add the exponents, they should equal 4. Okay, then we go plus 4x cubed -2 to the 1. We go plus 6x squared -2 to the 2. We're done there. We say plus 4, x to the 1 times -2 to the 3. We're done there. And then finally, we have plus 1 x to the 0, -2 to the 4. This is not the final form we want. We're going to simplify each of these terms. So we have x to the 4th, right, because we don't need to write the 1, and this is also 1. So we have -2 to the 1, that's -2, okay? So 4 times -2 is -8. Okay, we're done there. And we have 6 times x squared times -2 to the 2. This becomes 4. So I have plus 24x squared. It's there. -2 to the third is -8. -8 times 4 is -32x. Okay, we're done with that one. So we've done these. And the last one, -2 to the 4 is +16. And we're done. So when you have an odd number to the even power, it's always going to give me a positive, okay? But an odd number to an odd power is always going to equal a negative. So when you look here, that's why we see that our signs are alternating, where we have the -2 being raised. So -2 to the 0, it just goes away, it's a 1. -2 to the 1, negative. -2 to the 2, positive. -2 to the 3, negative. -2 to the 4, positive. So here our A is a little more complicated. It already has a coefficient, but that's okay. This 2 means we're in row 2. So we're going 1, 2, 1 from Pascal's triangle. All right? So we're going to have 1 times 2x squared times 5 to the 0 plus 2 times 2x to the 1 times 5 to the 1 plus 1 2x to the 0 times 5 squared. Now, as you get more proficient, you do not need to write the ones that you're doing to the 0 power. But for now, I'm just going to do it. Okay. Let's simplify these things. We have 1 times 2x to the second power. That's 4x squared. We're done. Plus 2x times 5, which is 10x, times 2 is 20x. We're done. Plus 5 squared is 25. All done. Okay. Now we have another one. Again, our a is a little more complicated, and we're going to say plus. Well, actually, let's rewrite this. It's 3x plus -2. So our a is 3x and our b is -2. We're using row 4, which was 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So we should have 5 terms. Okay. So we have 1 times a to the 4th times b to the 0 plus 4 times a to the 3rd times b to the 1st plus 6 times a to the second times b to the second plus 4 times a to the first times b to the third plus 1 times a to the 0 times b to the fourth. Okay, so forgot to cross that out. So that checks out. Now let's simplify each of these terms. Here's our 5 terms. First term, 3x to the fourth, that's 81x to the fourth. We're done. Times negative 2 to the 0. That's 0. So plus, whoops, not so fast. We have a negative base with an odd exponent. So now we have a negative number. Negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. Negative 8 times 3 to the third, so it's 27 times negative 216 x to the third. We're done with that one. So we have all even exponents, so I know this is going to be positive. 6 times, let's go, negative 2, that's 4, so that's 24. 24 times 3 is 72. We have x squared, right? X squared. We're done there. We have plus 4, not so fast. We have a negative to an odd exponent, so now we're at minus, okay? So I have 4 times 3x to the first is 12x. 12x times 8 is 96x. That's times negative 8, by the way. That's why we have negative 96. And then lastly, we have negative 2 to the fourth is positive 16. And we are done. I feel like I made a mistake here somewhere. Hold on, this is... Is this right? This is 18. Nope, I forgot. I forgot. See, made a mistake. This isn't 6 times 3. This is 6 times 9. Because it's 3 squared. So that's 72 times 4. That's 216 again. Okay. Got to check our work. I knew something didn't look right. All right. For your assignment today, it's going to be on pages 151 and 152 from the book. You're going to do problems 7 through 17 odd and 29 through 59 odd. I'll post the solutions this afternoon. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me.